यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानाम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practices, O descendant of Bharata, and a prominent rise of irreligion, at that time I invent myself. And the next verse, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthabhanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I invent myself millennium after millennium. These are Krishna's, in his own words, he has given the reason for actually coming down and taking incarnations and performing Leelas. The second reason, so one was preservation of Dharma. The second is for liberation of souls. This is also a very oft quoted verse. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vedi tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam iti so Arjuna. That is, the Lord also appears to help the Lord appears to help individuals transcend the cycle of birth. He says that whoever knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and my activities is sure upon leaving his body, he will never come back to this material world again, and he will attain my spiritual abode. And another thing is the Lord appears to give some guidance and protection to his devotees. This is also in one of the seed verses. There are 4 seed verses in the Bhagavad Gita, and there are 4 seed verses in the Bhagavatam. So the Bhagavad Gita is 10, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Please remember these, and those who don't know, please note it down and learn these slokas. These are very important slokas. It gives the essence of the Gita. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. So they descend so that we can serve them. This is a very important function of Archa Vigrahas. So that is why they have come in the form of Archa Vigraha, to give us an opportunity to serve them, because they are served by millions of Lakshmis, but they have come down and taken this form in 8 materials like stone, metal, picture, like that. There are different materials in which they come down, and just to give us an opportunity to serve them. And then again, how we by for Arjuna, actually, he showed the universal form. And this universal form, actually, because he manifested in this divine form, and he showed his power as a unique power with unique powers, then what he did, he inspired some awe and devotion in others, because he showcased his majesty and his infinite nature. So that we develop, and when we read this and when we read the descriptions, like in text, again, chapter 10, text 11, Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. And again in the next verse, if hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once in the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Personality in the universal form. In fact, they are less radiant than this form of the Supreme Personality. So, just to create an awe and feeling of awe and reverence in devotees, that is also one of the reasons for his appearance. And also to establish faith, you know, because the entire Gita is talking about this. And Shraddha is so important in bhakti. It's the first step in bhakti. And if you fail in the first step, you are going to keep tripping when you go into the next steps. If you try to skip the first step, you may have a fall. So this Shraddha, this faith is also very, very important. And to instill the faith, he also comes. So, and of course, these are some of the external reasons for appearing. What are the internal reasons? This is stated in the Bhagavatam. Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Stiren Punatihi Vaktaram Prachakam Stotram Tadpada Salinam Yatha. The Ganges emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva, that is Krishna, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker, the preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who are listening. So, this is the falashruti of all these preaching or talking or arrangements which are being made, the Sunday feast classes, lectures,
இது மூலமா
everything.
நிறைய பலன்களை நம்ம அந்த மாதிரி பலன்களை அனுபவிக்கிறோம். சண்டே கிளாஸ் மூலமா இந்த மாதிரி
So, can
பக்தி
the
வகுப்புகள் மூலமா.
Tamil translation be muted? I mean, in the English. Okay. So, and again in chapter, in 10th canto, both the verses which I'm quoting are from the 10th canto, and even, yes, there also, chapter 52, text 20, what experienced listener, O Brahmana, could ever grow satisfied while listening to the pious? Charming and ever fresh topics of Lord Krishna will cleanse away the world's contamination. So this is another reason for the Lord to descend. The Lord descends so that we can speak about him. And by speaking about him and hearing about him, we are purified. So this is one of the very important reason. And again, in one of the verses in the 10th canto itself, in the purport of this verse, yeah, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, he actually in Canto 10, this verse comes in the Rasalila chapter. Okay. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, he glorifies the Lord's conjugal pastimes, stating that these romantic affairs have an inconceivable spiritual potency to attract the polluted mind of conditional souls. So, it is undeniable fact that any pure or simple-hearted person who hears the narrations of the loving affairs of Krishna will be attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna and gradually become his devotee. So we have seen that these are the very important reasons why the Lord appears in various forms. He takes incarnations, he comes as Archa Vigrahas, he comes as Swayambhu Vigrahas, he just appears here and there, he comes as Sakshi Gopal, as a witness. So, in various ways. And now we are going to see how Jagannath has been interacting in all these ways with the devotees. And this we can divide into how he interacted with the Devas and how he interacted with the humans. So, with the Devas, I've already told you about Indra. But one thing in that story, which I left out the last line in the last class, and even I'd like to just add something on for the first class. Okay, for this, I just told you all that that the swara is the is the cook. He marked that place where Indra was standing, and that is called Swargadwara. You know why? Because it was a place where it's a burning ghat of dead bodies. So it was destined that anybody, why it was called Swargadwara? Because it's a gateway. Swargadwara means gateway to heaven. Huh? So whoever gets burnt there surely goes to Swargaloka without any conditions. There's no condition of his past activities, whatever. His past births or in the current birth, his activities, no discrimination, and he straight away goes to Swargaloka. So that part, and also when I was talking to you all about Rohini Mata, uh, describing, and all of them get this form, all the three of them get this form of Mahabhava Prakash. And I think I also went into ecstasy, and I left the last part of it out. I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I thought I'll better tell you all. So while they were like this, in the Mahabhava Prakash state, uh, then Narada Muni comes by. And he looks at this and he says, "Oh, I have seen, now I've seen, now I've seen, now I've seen the most exalted forms of the lordships. And never, never have we seen the three siblings together, both the brothers and sister together. So, oh Lord, and actually Jagannath actually asks, he comes to his external state and he says, "Oh, you saw, but don't reveal this to anybody." But then Narada Muni just begs him, falls at their feet and says, "Oh Lord, please, I want a boon from you. I want that this form of yours, this Mahabhava Prakash forms of yours, should be seen by everybody in the Bhuloka and all the planetary systems. So please, you please come in this form so that all of us can see you and you can give us your unlimited blessings." So that was also, and that is why, to the lordships also came down in those forms. So, okay, to continue, so now we'll go about the with pastimes with the devas. So, and these pastimes, all with the human, with the devas, with great kings, they are all I mean, Jagannath has performed such pastimes that we can also kind of understand, we can go through it, we can feel as if we are there, because it's so earthly, his pastimes. Not that it was very divine, very thing that we can't feel or we can't understand. And some are so funny as well, and some are so passionate, so majestic, that they will be, now that the whole the northern, I mean, Todu people are here, it will be good food for your drama, you know. So note it down. Many of these pastimes you can perform wonderful dramas. I know one of it was performed by Temple of Fine Arts, as a dance drama, and it was so beautiful. So we'll come to all these pastimes. So once what happens is, Jagannath Puri is very close to the ocean. Hmm? It's called the Bay of Bengal. That ocean is called the Bay of Bengal, you know. And but in those in Sanskrit terms, they call it Mahasamudra. Hmm? Uh, and in this near the ocean, so the ocean sound, in those days there was not much traffic, there was not many houses or buildings around. You can clearly hear the sound of the waves, and those waves are very, very choppy waves, very dangerous. Many devotees, we have lost many devotees who come for the parikram, who have not, in this ocean, because it is really very strong waves, and they make so much noise. So this was actually disturbing Baladev Prabhu. Baladev was there. He is trying to rest, and this ocean is making so much noise. So he called his brother. He said, "Jagannath, you know what? This ocean, he is, after all, your father-in-law, isn't it? Huh? Because Lakshmi Devi was born from the ocean when the ocean was churned. Okay, Lakshmi Devi also appeared. So they said, he's your father-in-law, isn't it? You please go and tell your father-in-law that to be a little silent. Why is he roaring like this? It's disturbing all our sleep. And then then, or are you going to go now and tell, or shall I go and tell him? So then Lord Jagannath realized that if Lord Balaram goes and confronts the ocean, there's going to be a fight between the two. So he wanted to avoid all this. So he said, no, 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 don't worry, don't worry. I'll handle this. I'll handle this. So he went to the ocean and he told, why today you seem to be very jubilant and you're singing away. Of course, your songs are very nice. You're very pleasant to hear, but probably you can tone down a bit. And he was trying to be very diplomatic. And of course, the ocean didn't pay so much heed to Lord Jagannath's words. So he came back and he told, then he saw that he was still, then Balaram Prabhu persisted that, no, are you going or not? What happened? I'm waiting. I can't sleep. It's so noisy. Then he thought of sending Lakshmi Devi, but he knows if he says anything to Lakshmi Devi, she may get angry, you see. So, but anyway, he told her, maybe you should tell your father to be toned down a little bit. He's very jubilant. Maybe he should calm down a little. And Lakshmi Devi also tries to tell the father, but it doesn't work. So Jagannath was thinking, okay, let me find out another way. So he calls Hanuman. He says, look, this is the problem. Balaram Prabhu is getting very angry, and if he gets angry, you know what will happen. So you please go and do something about this ocean sound. So he goes there, Hanumanji, he goes to the ocean and he takes all the sound in his ear, okay, both the ears. So all the sound is locked into the ear. So this Hanuman, and he comes there, he comes back to the temple. You can see that in this temple in the west gate there is a shrine for Hanumanji, and he is called Kan Pataka Hanuman, because with the Kan he will be actually putting on the wall. That's why it's called Kan Pataka. Kan means ear and Pataka means wall. Uh, So he'll put his ear on the wall to hear if there's, now that he has taken in everything, to see if there's any noise, in the temple. Surprisingly, until today, when you're outside the temple, sometimes in the quiet of the night, in the quiet of the night, you can hear the ocean. Hmm? But when you step into the temple, you will not hear that sound. So this is a Leela of Lord Jagannath with Hanuman. And then another very nice, talking about Hanuman, let's finish about Hanuman, I think. So Hanuman, the next Hanuman there is called, very famous Hanuman is Bedi Hanuman. Because, again, because they are near the seashore, always there's some floods coming in and, entering the temple, and then again causing so much of havoc that they have to clean the temple. Everything is stopped, puja is stopped, offerings are stopped. So it creates a chaos whenever there is a flood. So to stop this flood, what Lord Jagannath orders Hanuman to stay at the ocean front, and there is a temple there, Hanuman temple. When you go on Puri Parikrama, you will see this temple. So a Hanuman temple is there, and he told Hanuman, you stay here and make sure that the ocean doesn't cross into the from the shore. It doesn't cross over the shore and go into the city. You must prevent this. So Hanuman was doing his duty very well, until one day it was soon to be Sri Ramanavami celebration, and he heard that the neighboring village, they are having wonderful Ram Katha and big celebration. He just left his job and went off, and then the whole sea went in. So he was called by everybody, is saying, where is Hanuman? Where is Hanuman? Everybody is searching. He's not there. That's why the water came in, and nobody to guard the ocean. And then when they found him there in that Ram festival, they brought him back to Jagannath, and Jagannath chastised him and told him, hereafter you should not leave that. And they tie him with a chain. They bind him with a chain. This is this. That is why the name Bedi Hanuman. He is tied there with a rope or a chain so that he doesn't move from that place. Wherever there is Ram Katha, also he has to just stay there and look after the ocean. So that is one. And there is also another one, but I think I'll reserve it because there is something called Garva Ganjan. Garva Ganjan means to destroy the pride. There are a couple of stories in that. We'll keep it to the end in case we don't finish. Then we can skip that or keep it for another time. Otherwise, we can tell it at the end. So, coming in the series of exchanges with the Devas and Devatas, pastimes of Devas and Devatas. This is a very interesting one. You see, always Jagannath has such nice round eyes. He doesn't have an eyelid. That is his speciality. He doesn't have an eyelid because he doesn't want to wink. Even the gopis say, Brahma is what kind of creation is Brahma's creation? He has created these eyelids, which are such an obstruction for us to visualize Krishna, take darshan of Krishna continuously. It doesn't allow us. We have to blink now and then, and then we lose Krishna out of a vision. So similarly, but Jagannath, for himself, he came without eyelids because he wants to bestow his mercy, his kripa kataksha on everybody. He doesn't want to blink and waste time. Whomever he sees, he want to bestow his mercy. That is why he's got this chakadola. We'll come to the person who coined this word. Chakadola means big round eyes in Oriya language. So that he has got this big round eyes so that he can always keep seeing everybody and bestowing his mercy because he is such a Karunavatara. That is why. So what happens is, and he hardly sleeps with his eye, because he can't even sleep, and because he doesn't have eyelashes, he would. So he's hardly sleeping. You've actually the best time to have darshan in Jagannath Puri is to go at midnight, after midnight. There will be less people, and only at night he'll be dressed very opulently, extremely opulently, because only at night, after he is put to rest, there's only 2 hours. He goes to bed around 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. They wake him up. There are no fixed times for him to sleep and to get up like what we have in our temples. So he will go to sleep very late, and after the night priests put him to sleep and come back, what happens is he doesn't sleep. It's that time that all the demigods, all the devas and the devatas, they stand in queue and they come and take darshan. So always, sometimes even they have seen 1,000 petaled lotus there, even quite recently, a few, maybe 100 years ago or 50 years ago, I'm not sure. They saw because the demigods come with various gifts and they also offer flowers and things like that. So the demigods are coming and they do this. So once what happened was there was one form of Durga Devi called Charchika Devi. She is in a village just very close to uh, Jagannath Puri. Hmm? And this night ceremony of putting him to sleep and leaving him alone for him to meet, give audience to all the demigods. The night ceremony is called Pahuda. Okay. And then, so in this, she actually, this Lord Charchika, she lives in a village called Banki, which is close to Puri, Jagannath Puri. And she also came running one day to see. She comes almost every day to see Lord Jagannath. But what happened was, timing is there, and Baladev and there will be a priest also there, and the priest also tells Baladev, "You are in charge. make sure that anybody comes late, don't allow them in, because Jagannath has got very little time to sleep and he has to go to rest for a while. So don't allow them in. So what will happen? Charchika Devi, she came late one day, she was excused. So Jagannath excused her. And then again, the following day also she comes late, because she is coming from some distance, she has to come. So she probably a Vahana was not fast enough. So she was late. And she thought she can get in because the last time she went in. So this time also Jagannath will be merciful to her and she can go in. But this time Baladev was very strict. And he told the chief priest, look at this Charchika Devi. She is always coming late. What is she thinking of herself? So the chief priest said, no, 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 don't allow her inside. We don't want latecomers inside. Okay. So they didn't allow her. So she was waiting outside thinking that, but Jagannath was saying, never mind, just allow her. Jagannath is always all merciful. But sometimes in Tamil there is a saying, Sami varan kodutha kuda pujari varan kodukka mattaru. The Lord may give permission for everything, but the priest, he is the one who is most strict. No? Yeah, he has his reasons to be strict because he has to adhere to time. Punctuality is a very important aspect of deity worship. So he didn't want to allow, and Balaram was very strict. So Balaram went outside and he said, no, the chief priest also told me not to allow you inside. You cannot come inside today. She said, I am not going out of this place. I am going to wait here till I go in. And Balaram says, what do you mean? You are so proud. You think you can, whom do you think Jagannath is? He is the Lord of the world, universe. And you want to come late? You think you're so great to come late to see the Lord of the universe and you expect permission to go inside? No, 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 you cannot. And Charchika Devi gets angry. She is Durga. So you can imagine. So she gets very angry. She says, no, I am going inside. And you, Balaram, you see, look at me. I've got 8 hands, and all my 8 hands has got such powerful weapons. And you don't even have hands? You calling me proud, or are you proud? Without any hands, you are talking so much. With so many hands, I am trying to ask you nicely to go inside, and you're not allowing me. That's it. It blew Balaram out. Even the little patience he had, he lost it. And he said, you are talking like this to me? I am not allowing you inside. You can stay outside. And he closes the door and goes. Okay, bangs the door on her face, actually, literally. So Charchika Devi then realizes, oh my God, I think I did the wrong thing. I also was too proud. I shouldn't have been so proud. And then when
Hare
she
Krishna.
wants to ask for forgiveness, and the priest comes out, and then Baladev comes out, Baladev says, okay, never mind. Now that you realize that you made a mistake and that you were too proud, to put your pride down, you go and work as a maid servant in this chief priest's house. Okay. So she will go, she will walk, she will change herself to a simple lady with like a widow or something like that, white sari, and she'll walk and go. And then the chief priest, actually, he didn't realize of this instruction of Baladev. And then he sees this lady walking early morning like that. Then he asks her, who are you? You seem new to this place. No, I'm looking for the chief priest's house. I don't have anywhere to go. I want to be his servant. I lost everything. So I want to work in their house. The chief priest says, I'm the chief priest. Come, you come first. He takes her inside, he introduces her to the wife, and the wife is also very pleased, and she will do wonderful service. She'll keep the puja room very well. She'll cook nicely. The house is clean. Everything is done excellently. When once somehow, then she realizes and she's very happy there. She's very happy. And at one time, there's a big storm. There's a big storm. The chief priest is just coming home, and he has to be given food, and he will do his puja he has to take bath, everything, after returning. So she will come, the whole house is blackout. Nothing. There's no, all the lamps have gone out, and there is no matchbox in the house to light the lamp. There's no source of fire to light the lamp. But she has already lit a lamp and kept without the source of fire. Okay, because she is Charchika Devi, so she can do anything. So she had lit the lamp. And then the priest walks in. When the priest walks in, when the door was open to let him in, there was such a waft of wind that came in, because it's a thunderstorm that's going on, that it blew the last light out in the house. Okay. And then he walks in the darkness. He doesn't know what to do. And then he has, light the lamp, light the lamp. He tells her, she says, we don't have anything to light the lamp. Then she goes in to the puja room, and there is a lamp which is quite high. You know, she had to hold something with the hand. She's holding something in the hand to serve the chief priest. And what she does is she takes her leg. It goes so high up to light the lamp, and she just lights the lamp, without anything. So then the chief priest realized she's not an ordinary person. Then he asks her about her. She tells him she's Charchika Devi. Then he takes her back to the temple, gives her darshan of Lord Jagannath, and she is very happy, and she goes back. And Jagannath also told her, and she said, this was a very nice way of actually destroying my pride. I enjoyed my service with the chief priest, because you have said that we have to be dasa, 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 no dasa. So I was the servant of your servant, and this gave me so much of immense pleasure. Thank you for giving me this experience, and thank you for teaching me a lesson, and thank you for giving me your darshan. So that was Charchika Devi. Next, we'll go to Patita Pavan Jagannath. This is a very famous story, okay, and it's a very nice story. So, actually, once there was a king called Ramachandra Dev. He is a Gajapati in the line of this Gajapati kings of Orissa, Ramachandra Dev the second. Okay, there was already one Ramachandra Dev before. This is the second Ramachandra Dev. And he was in control of one part of Orissa called Karda. Karda. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is where Veerabhadra Prabhu, who is Nityananda Prabhu's son, is actually having a temple, and he stayed there, and the temple is still around Karda. I'm not sure if both are the same. Anyway, it's in the border of Bengal and Orissa. Okay. And that time, there was a lot of political disturbance in Orissa, because what happened was, the Muslim king, the Muslim king was actually ruling the neighboring states, and he is just going around the Mughal. He's a Mughal king, under the Mughal king. So they are going around conquering all the neighboring states and countries like that, And this was really, Ramachandra Dev was in a great dilemma what to do. Should he go? Because he is, and they are plotting to destroy the Jagannath Mandir. They all know that this Jagannath Mandir is the one which is causing a lot of people to be strong in their faith. Because they are strong in their faith, they get immense blessings, and they are not afraid of anything. They are not afraid of enemies. They are not afraid of wars. And they are so confident that Jagannath will look after them. So this Muslim king wants to destroy. Jagannath has been many times, Jagannath temple has been invaded by Muslims, and taken with that. Actually, today I'm not even touching on that, because if we go into that, that is a big class by itself. But it is very important for us, because it was during that time that Rajpur Jagannath, our near in Mayapur in Simantadweep, that Jagannath actually came first during these invasions. He wanted to hide. He told them, take me to Bengal, and they took them to Bengal. And that's how the whole history of the Rajpur Jagannath temple begins. So anyway, now let's stick to our Ramachandra Dev. So Ramachandra Dev, what he does is he's thinking, what should I do now? Should I wage war against this guy? Where I'm sure to kind of lose to him, or should I just, if I keep quiet, he is going to come in and he is going to destroy uh, the temple, no? So what to do? So he will go there, no? He'll go there, he'll wage a war, he'll lose. And he's in the prison. And this Mughal king comes and he tells him, he knows that Ramachandra Dev is of a very good caliber. He's a very intelligent king and he's a very resourceful person. So he neither does he want to lose him. You see, the Mughal king, he wants to use him. So he says, there is a choice for you. Either you marry my daughter and you become a Muslim. See, if you marry a Muslim girl, you have to become a Muslim. Or I will take the Jagannath Mandir. Okay? I will invade the Jagannath Mandir. And you hand over Jagannath Mandir to me. You surrender Jagannath Mandir to me along with your kingdom. So he asks for some time and he just thinks and thinks and thinks. And actually, Jagannath gives him permission. He thinks that the Lord has given him permission to marry this girl. He decides, let me marry, at least Jagannath Mandir will be saved. I don't want Jagannath Mandir to be invaded and my countrymen to suffer. So it doesn't matter if I suffer. Okay, he marries her. He marries her, and after some time, he goes back to his country. When he goes back to his country, nobody allows him inside because he has married a Muslim. Now he's an outcast, you know. Of course, he is the king. He is still the king because the Muslim ruler has made him the king for this place, for this Utkal state of Utkal. But the priests are so strong in Jagannath Mandir. They are so powerful. They told the king that you cannot come inside. So the king was very remorse. He didn't know what to do. Anyway, he came back because he respects, because he is born and bred there. He knows the ways and means of Jagannath Mandir. He knows the ways and means of the Sri Mandir. So he says, okay, he abides by the rules. He is a king. He could have done something and he could have gone in because he was hankering to take darshan of Jagannath. A person who's been every day getting royal treatment inside the temple, every day his first darshan will be for him. Everything was for he could go in any time. The Mahaprasad comes to him after Vimala Devi eats first. So, like this, he was enjoying so many benefits from Jagannath, so much of blessings from Jagannath, and suddenly everything is cut off. So, he is really very, 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 very sad. Very sad, very sad. He just couldn't take it. He even thought of committing suicide. But then he thinks, even the first time when the king asks him like that, he thought, let me, I'd rather die than marry this lady. And but then now he thinks, oh, it's such an offense to commit suicide. I'll never be forgiven by Jagannath if I commit suicide. So I will just take what it comes, whatever comes for me, and I will live my life. Whatever is destined for me, let me just go through, let me experience whatever I have to experience. So this mode of surrender is very important for all devotees. So then he goes and so what he will do every night, he was so remorseful, he doesn't know how to show it out. So every night he'll go, there are four entrances to the Jagannath Mandir. The main entrance is the lion entrance. Okay. This lion, and then just opposite is the tiger entrance. And then on one side is the horse entrance, and the other side is the elephant entrance. Okay. And each depicts, this entrance depicts dharma, the other one depicts three more things, I forget. Okay, so then he will go to this lion entrance, and every day he'll stand outside and he'll cry and cry and cry and cry his heart out. Say, oh Jagannath, what is this? What is happening? I though I did this to save you, I have not. I have lost myself now. What is life for me if I don't have your vision? If I can't see you, if I can't serve you, how do you expect me to live? I am actually a walking corpse now. I'm lost all feelings, and I'm walking like a dead body. I'm becoming mad. I don't know what to do. And every day he used to come like this and cry. And Jagannath couldn't take it. He couldn't take it. He couldn't take that his devotee is in such a sad state that he came running out from the altar to the gate, to the lion. And Ramachandra Dev was so shocked. He was so much in happiness. He fell straight like a rod and he paid his obeisances. And Jagannath told him, Jagannath is inside, he is outside. He has not stepped in at all. And Jagannath also has not stepped out. And Jagannath tells him, don't worry, I will come and give you darshan every night. Okay. So he comes. What happens is whenever he comes in such a hurry that all his flower garlands fall out. There is flowers strewn from the main altar to the lion gate, and there are some of even his clothes are some dropped here and there. And so the when the pujari comes in the morning, he's shocked to see this. What is happening? So second day he waits. Second day also same thing is happening. Third day also same thing is happening. So he doesn't know whether this is auspicious, inauspicious, what is happening. So he went and reported to the king, and the king then told him, because everything has to be reported to the king, even though he is an outcast, they have to report all these things to the king. So they tell the king, and then the king says, yes, Jagannath has been coming to see me. And then they'll say, really, what is the proof? And then the next night he says, if you want, you can come. Next night, Jagannath comes and he stays there. He stays there at the lion gate. So the next day, when the pujaris came, they were all shocked to see just Jagannath's face, without his hands, without his torso. This is only his face with his big round eyes and a beautiful smile. So even now, when you go, there is at the main gate, that is the lion gate, there is this Patita Pavana Jagannath. He is called Patita Pavana because he showed his mercy on the most fallen soul, the king. So the king called him the Patita Pavana Jagannath. And even now, you will see all our foreign devotees who are not able to enter the temple. They just sit outside on the road. The road, of course, I shouldn't be saying this, is full of dust, is full of cow dung, full of cows going up and down, auto rickshaws going, splashing water, splashing dust, all over them. But they just sit there on the bare floor and they just chant their rounds. You can see them just looking at Jagannath straight at Patitapavan Jagannath, and they'll be chanting the rounds. So actually, there are many people like this. Even Mahatma Gandhi was not allowed in because he came with all his Muslim followers and some outcast people. And Guru Nanak ji, who also came with one of his Muslim friends, was not allowed. And he was, and they because they were not allowed inside, they were the Muslim friend who came with his disciple, but who was very close with him. He didn't get even food to eat because they was thinking that they will take prasadam inside, so they didn't have food. So you're saying, look at what is this deity doing. Not even bothered that people who are coming to see him have eaten or not. He'll be telling like that. And then the priest, Jagannath, actually tells the priest, you please allow them inside. So they go inside, have prasad, everything. So many pastimes like this have happened, where Jagannath has allowed Muslim devotees selectively to go in, and some he has come out, who have been outcast and things like that. Why the Jagannath temple doesn't allow other religion people to go in is because the history is like that. Many a times, just like now, after so many things, even Americans, even everywhere, yeah, after the 9/11 episode, anybody coming from the Middle East, anybody coming from Pakistan, were really scrutinized before they were allowed into US. Similarly, at many places, this has happened because of some incident which we think they are responsible for. Then we are cautious not to allow them inside. So in that way, many a times, the Muslim invaders have invaded the temple and caused havoc. That is why they put a stop to all people, for all different faith people to enter into the temple. So this is about Patita Pavan Jagannath. Now, see, that is why, because he has such wonderful relationships and wonderful understanding with devotees, he is called Bhakta Jana Ranjana. Okay, he is called Bhakta Jana Ranjana. And just like how he is crushing the pride of many people, he is called Garva Ganjana. So we'll see some pastimes on Garva Ganjana. One we saw is also Chartika Devi is also comes under that. Okay, next we will go to another wonderful pastime. This is about, again, this is about a different faith person. Okay. Lal Beg, B-E-G. Okay, Lal Bega. Lal Bega was a Muslim king again. Okay, he was not a king, he was a commander in chief for the Muslim king. He was a great person. Okay. And once while he was, traveling in the country, these people always go in disguise, they travel around. There was one very beautiful lady, she was actually a young widow, a young Brahmin lady who was a young widow. And she was very beautiful. She was singing some bhajans and she was doing some work there. The king was so attracted by her, he just took her, abducted her, took her to his palace, and he asked her to marry her. And she also felt very bad that, she has been abducted. Now she can't go back to her house either. So she uh, got married to him and she was his wife. And they have a nice, handsome son called Salabeg. Suppose that rings a bell to all of you all. Salabeg, he grows up with his parents into a very fine man, and he learns all the arts, martial arts, because he is a commander in chief's son, and he will be uh, he'll be growing up. He's just growing up, young person. And what happens is the father goes for some war, the father dies. The mother is still just looking after him, and they are both there, looked after by the state. He's growing up as a Muslim. Then one day he gets a very bad disease. Okay, he gets a disease. Actually, he goes somewhere and he is attacked, in a war or something. He comes back injured and he is not getting better. The wounds are not healing. So the mother also is giving him all kind of treatment, and then he is so dejected. He says, because he has been such an active person, he is a warrior son. He has been brought up that way, like a warrior. And he was so dejected. He told his mother, "I'm so fed up with this life. I can't go out and do what I want to do. I am so sick, and these wounds are not healing. What am I to do?" Then she tells him, "You just pray to Lord Jagannath. Pray to Lord Krishna, not Jagannath." She says, "Pray to Lord Krishna of Vrindavana." Then he's telling her, "Amma, you're a Muslim. And how can you ask me to pray to Lord Krishna? He's a Hindu god." Then she reveals that she was a Hindu and she was the father abducted her and she married him. And that's so and she says, "You just pray, he will do everything." And then Krishna comes in his dream and says, "You come to Vrindavan and I will take care of you." So he goes to Vrindavan, he gets cured, and then he wants to come back to see. Then he hears about Jagannath and he wants to come to Jagannath. He hears that Jagannath is going to have a Rath Yatra, but he realizes that if he leaves from the Vrindavan, he won't come on time. And while he was in Vrindavan, he wrote many, many poems in glorification of Krishna and in glorification of Jagannath ji. Because he heard so much about Jagannath when he was in Vrindavan. So he wants to come now to Puri. So he comes. He says, I'm not, actually, I can't reach there on time. I know very well. Even return Ratha Yatra will finish. I won't be able to reach there on time, leave alone the first main Ratha Yatra. So what am I to do? But Jagannath, just show me some mercy. I just want to see you because he's a Muslim, so he can't go into the temple. Once Jagannath goes into the temple, he'll never get darshan for the next year. So he is in great anxiety, and he walks as fast as he could. He is coming, and he's really coming, and he is also losing hope. Oh, I'm not going to see him. Looks like it. I'm not going to see him. And he says, it's going to take me 5 days to reach a certain junction where Jagannath always crosses during the Rath Yatra, a certain place. He says, and that is the nearest from where he's walking in that path of the Rath Yatra. No, it will take so many days to go. What am I to do? I don't think I can see Jagannath. He's coming with this anxiety, and he walks and walks and walks and walks and walks and comes there. And behold, his vision, Jagannath is actually waiting for him. They are trying to push the Ratha for many days. They are trying to push, and then they called at that time it was under British rule. They called the person in charge. He ordered them to bring elephants. Elephants are trying to push from the back, trying to pull from the front. Nothing happened. He never moved. He just was stationary there. And everybody were wondering, what is wrong? Is something wrong? Why is he here so many days? He doesn't want to move. And they just don't know, and they are just continuing the worship in that same place. And actually, uh, at that place, he is there, and Jagannath, and he comes running, and he sees Jagannath, and he just breaks up into a poem. This Shalabeg is the one who says Chakadola. That's a very nice song. He describes Chakadola, Chakadola. He describes Jagannath as the person with the round eyes. He says, Ratachari pase lambe mukutara jara, jala mala dishutai, Prabhu Chakadola. He says, the Lord with big eyes, big round eyes, calls that poem is very nice. And like this, and this Chalabega, he got darshan of thing. And the king is wondering. Then the king got news. The king and that who is that? The British person who was in charge there. All of them come running to. Now they know that the Ratha is going to move. They come running to have darshan, not of Jagannath. They want to come and see who is this devotee who has been bestowed with such wonderful mercy that Jagannath waited for him. Waited so many days for him just to see this devotee, for the devotee to see him. So this was the greatness of Salabeg. And even today, uh, there is a place called Bhakta Shalabeg Samadhi Pita. And there, even till there is the Samadhi, he stayed there. The king gave him a place. He stayed there. He did his, and every year the Ratha goes that side. He used to take darshan, and when he became old, when he passed away, he had his samadhi in that same place. And every day Jagannath Prasad used to go there. And till today, the king has ordered that this Jagannath, Jagannath's tongue Prasad, at least one piece should be gone. Every day they must offer some Jagannath Prasad to him. And one of it is this Gaja. Okay. So like that, Shalabeg was such a great poem to whom uh, Krishna bestowed a lot of mercy. Okay, and then let's go to another wonderful pastime. of King Purushottam. Okay, this King Purushottam, he is from the Gonga dynasty. He's also all the Purushottam Dev, the names, there are many Purushottam Devs. They all come under Gajapati Raja descendants. They are all Gajapati descendants. Okay. So, and of course, this king had the practice of every year, Yatra, there'll be a golden broom and the king will come to the Rath, and he will sweep the floor because he is, he considers Lord as his boss, and he considers himself as a menial servant of the Lord. So he sweeps. So once he went on a South India tour. Okay, he went to actually Kanchipuram. Went to Kanchipuram. So he went there and he saw, somehow he met a lady there. He met the princess while touring and while he was the guest of the king there. He meets this princess and they both fall in love with each other. Okay. So he wants to marry her. And also, and Purushottam Dev actually proposes to the king of Kanchi, and the king of Kanchi also is very happy about it. He says, "Okay, we'll proceed with the marriage and things like that." So King Purushottam Dev, what he did, he actually requested the minister of Kanchi or the king himself to come because there's just a few more days for the Radha Yatra. So he invites. Actually, this one was the drama I was talking about, which Fine Arts did. You know. So he calls the minister, king, to come, and the king says, "I'm very busy with certain things, but let my minister go with you, okay? And let him remain in Puri for a few days, and this is a good time. The minister can go and observe, because they don't just give a girl in marriage, even if he is a king, without checking out his background. This is very common in India and in the Vedic culture itself. So the king feels that it is a good thing for the minister to accompany King Purushottam so that he can check out his background. Okay, so he is very happy. The king actually follows him. The minister follows the king, and they go to Orissa, and there they are. The He's been looked after very well and he's very happy, the minister. And the day of the Radha Yatra comes and all the three Raths are standing, and the minister was really awestruck with all the arrangements that were made, the kirtanas, the conch shells, everything. And then the minister of Kanchi was standing there, Kanchipuram was standing there, witnessing all this. And he noticed that the king went to the chariot, you know. He went to the chariot and he started sweeping the road, the chariot first from the top, then to the road. He was sweeping the whole thing. And this was actually a little disgusting to the minister. He said, "How can a stately king take the role of a Chandala?" Chandala is a sweeper. A dog eater, a sweeper, they are all called Chandalas. Okay. So they are lower than the low caste. Okay. So he was very upset. He said, he's performing all these duties, and my princess, my country's princess, has to come here and be his wife. No, 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 no. It doesn't look good. So anyway, he doesn't say anything. He immediately leaves Puri and he goes back to Kanchi and he tells the king, "I don't think this is the right thing to do. Send this man. Send our princess to this, get the princess married to Purushottam Dev. It's not a good proposal at all. So let's just forget it. And then Padma Devi hears this and she is really upset because she really likes Purushottam Dev very much. But anyway, she has no say in the matter. She is just praying to the lords. Incidentally, see, King Purushottam Dev's Ishtadeva is Lord Jagannath, and the Kanchi king's Ishtadeva is Ganesh. Okay? Let's just keep that in mind. So now they go back and then they send a message after they decide that they don't want this marriage to go ahead. So they send a message saying that sorry, we don't want to give our daughter to a chandala who is doing the work of a chandala, even if he is a king. So this really angers King Purushottamadiv. He says, what do these people think? Can't they understand what I was doing? You know? So then he really gets very upset. And what he does, he says, he says, come on, he tells his army, get ready. Let's wage war against this Kanchi king. Okay. So they'll go to the battlefield and what happens is when he camped somewhere, his um, and also the Kanchi king was ready. And when he went very close to Kanchi and the battle was going to take place, his camp got fire. We don't know whether the Kanchi people did something and made the fire, or genuinely somehow something happened and they got fire. Hmm? And then what happened is he was now if he goes ahead, he'll definitely lose the battle. He lose the battle, and so what he does is he comes back. Because why he comes back is, what was the Kanchi king says, you want to come for a battle, you come for the battle. If I win in the battle, the Lord I am praying to, Lord Ganesh, will go behind Jagannath, behind your Jagannath in your temple. If I win, your Lord Purushottama, your Lord Jagannath should come behind my Ganesh. And Lord Purushottam, he is really very upset now. If at all, what will happen to me now? What will happen to Jagannath? He was not worried about himself. He was thinking, now Jagannath is going to go behind Ganesh. How can we allow this? So he goes back and he asks for some time, and even Kanchi minister allows that, Kanchi king allows that, and he says, you come back, okay, for war. But he's so sure he's going to lose the war. So he's wondering every day, the days are ticking, there was a time period, the days are ticking, and he was wondering how to go back to the battlefield. He'll go every day and pray to Jagannath, and Jagannath will say, what's your problem? Why are you so upset? And then he'll tell the whole story that you will have to go behind Ganesh. I don't want that to happen. And I don't know now that the camp was on fire. I've lost some soldiers. I've lost my army, so I'm not ready enough to to wage war against this Kanchi king. So he says, don't worry, I will come with you. Don't worry, you go, you prepare for war. Okay. And so he was very happy. The king Purushottam Dev was very happy. And then he set to go for the war. But he was wondering, now, how do I know? Still he had a doubt. How do I know whether Jagannath and Baladev or Jagannath is coming? He's going to fight for me there. How will I recognize them? How will I know? Anyway, I trust them. I have faith in them. They have given me their word. So I will just go. Whatever happens, let it happen. Now it is in their hands. So he will go. Okay, he will go. Meanwhile, they have to cross. I mean, they are going in. They or the whole army is going, and they realized that, and the king always is thinking, what is happening? Is Jagannath with me? Is Jagannath with me? Is he coming? Will this? How will I recognize him? How will I know he's fighting for me? And things like that. But before that, there were two people, one on a white horse, one in a black horse. The person on the black horse was black in color, and the person on the white horse was white in color. Okay, they are going ahead of this army. They are going ahead. And they go to a village. Okay, they are thirsty and they see an old lady bringing buttermilk. Okay, And when they see this lady bringing buttermilk, they stop her. And her name is Manika Mata. Okay. They stop her and they tell her, you please give us, we're very thirsty, give us some buttermilk. And she sees she's just drawn towards this two people, She just looking at them in awe and reverence. She says, you want milk? You want buttermilk? Take it. And they drink and drink and drink. They're almost finishing the whole matka. Matka means pot. What? She has actually brought this buttermilk to sell, and these two people, they just drink the buttermilk. And then after they drink, they say, okay, we are going now. Thank you very much. We are happy with your buttermilk, was very tasty and all that. She says, where's the money? I said, money? Oh, we don't have money. You don't have money? And then she sits down, she starts wailing and crying, because imagine simple village woman, she says, oh, now, this milk, with this milk only I have to buy some grains, and with that only I can eat. And what have you done? And then I have to buy more milk to come make buttermilk and sell. This is my livelihood, and you're not giving me money. What will I do now? How will I live? How will I eat? And she'll be wailing and crying. Then Krishna, the person in the horse will say, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. He'll take out a ring and he'll give to her. Okay. And he'll say, this king is coming behind. Okay. You show him this ring and he will give you. Tell him that two people came and we drank milk. We drank the buttermilk. So give you whatever money you want, you ask him, he'll give you. So then went off. Then the king's army was coming and the king was actually leading. And then the Manika Mata is waiting there, waiting. And then she waits and she sees them. She stops them. She stops them and then she says, who is the king here? She asks. And then he says, yes, I am the king. What do you want? Then she says, two people came, drank up all my buttermilk. They gave me this ring. They asked me to show you and take money from you. They didn't give me money. I want money, and that is such an expensive king. It's a diamond-studded king. That is such an expensive ring. It's diamond-studded, but that lady is so innocent. And she gives, and the king's eyes opens wide because he recognizes it as Jagannath's ring, So he is so happy. Now he knows that Jagannath has gone forward, and he gives this lady the money, he takes the ring, and that place where this pastime took place is called Manikapatna. It is still there in the borders, south border of Orissa, Manikapatna, because the king is heading south to Kanchipuram. So there they then the king goes with great confidence, great joy, and then the war takes place. And of course, needless to say that King Purushottam wins. And the climax is here. So King Purushottam wins, and then the Kanchi king, of course, now Ganesh has to come there, okay, behind Jagannath. Everything was agreed upon. And now the king wants to give, the Kanchi king wants to give his daughter in marriage to Purushottam Dev. And Purushottam Dev, he says, why should I marry the daughter of a man who actually did not recognize my services to the Lord and call me a Chandala? So he tells his minister, you take her as captive, bring her to our country, but I will not marry her. You get her married to a suitable Chandala who really sweeps the roads in our Puri. You get one of those guys and you get her married. So bring her, let her live with this Chandala, because they call me one. Let the daughter marry that same person now. Okay, a Chandala who really sweeps, whose job is just sweeping the road. Okay. So this king also brings her, takes her, and she is crying and crying and crying, Padmavati was so upset because she wants to marry Purushottam Dev. And anyway, they come And the pastimes continue, Lord Jagannath's pastimes. Ganesh is behind. Now, even now, when you go to the Sri Mandir, the big Jagannath Mandir in Puri, behind Jagannath's altar is Kanchi Ganesh. You will see Kanchi Ganesh. It's quite big, and it will be written Kanchi Ganesh. And also, along with Kanchi Ganesh, there was a small Radha Krishna deity worshipped. That Radha Krishna deity also came there. Okay, they were there, and they also had a small shrine, and they were there, and Kanchi Ganesh was also placed behind Jagannath. Okay, after a few days, they noticed the Jagannath was, there's that small Radha Krishna I was talking about. They are placed near Bogamandap. Bogamandap, there is a shrine just next to the Bogamandap. They are there. So Bogamandap is a place where all the Boga first comes there. And it's placed there. And then, so what happens is all the nice things were quickly, as soon as they are placed, they are just eating this Radha Krishna deities, Okay, Jagannath was tolerating, Jagannath and Baladev and Subhadra Mai, all of them were tolerating this for a few days. But then it was really becoming worse and worse, and they were not getting all their favorite items are being taken by this Radha Krishna deities. So they came in the king's dream, and they told the king, please get these Radha Krishna deities out. We don't want them here, because they are taking all our favorite things and eating up, and we are not getting all those items. So these two deities have been moved out. I think they've been moved out to Gambira or to Sakshi Gopal, I'm not sure. But the king made sure that these two deities were also looked after very well, though, because he had brought them from Kachipuram, and now it's his responsibility. So he made he gave special land, special pujaris were employed, and everything was done, and those deities were separated, and special boga offerings were made for those deities as well. So this is one nice pastime, also a pastime within a pastime. And what happens was, okay, now coming back to Padmavati and Purushottam Dev. So again, they were waiting and waiting, and every day the minister was looking after her like his own daughter. She was in the minister's house, and she was also really very, very sad, and and every time the minister will tell her, don't worry, we'll see what will happen. You just pray to Lord Purushottam Dev, to Purushottama. He will give you some benediction, So she prays to Jagannath, she prays to Ganesh, she prays very ardently, very faithfully, she prays to them. And then, of course, the next Ratha Yatra comes, and the king, the chariots are standing there, and the king comes with great pomp. You've seen, it's very nice to see the king will come. There'll be and he'll come only he'll come with an umbrella and all that. He'll get down from his vehicle, and people will carry the umbrella. But once he comes in front of Jagannath, they take out the umbrella, because he is no more a king. He's a servant. They will bring down the umbrella, and he will take off his shoes and all. Far away itself, he'll walk barefooted, he'll go up, and he will sweep. He'll sweep the whole chariot all around. Then he'll come down, and he'll just sweep the road for a short distance. So this the king was doing, and the king just finished sweeping. The minister already told Padmavati, today you deck yourself up and come like a beautiful bride, because we are going for Ratha Yatra. Then here everybody dresses. This is a big festival. You have to dress nicely and come. So she dresses nicely and she comes, and he brings her and he gives her hand to the king. And he tells the king, "You told me to give her to a suitable sweeper. So for her, you are the most suitable sweeper." Okay, she's such a wonderful lady. So, and she's a suitable wife for you, and you're a suitable sweeper husband for her. And then the king also becomes very happy, and their marriage also takes place after that. So, this is another wonderful pastime of really over time. So, there are many more pastimes. Probably we should have another day because I actually came with 10 pastimes. I haven't even completed 4 pastimes. Okay.
Can
Please.
we can have another day.
Wow, there are some really beautiful. Okay, can are we too? Is it too late?
We can probably have one more, and then we
One
can
more.
have
Okay,
another
one
day.
short one. Okay, one short and beautiful one. And I think we'll end with this. Maybe you all should find out about more pastimes yourselves and read. Okay. This pastime is a very sweet pastime of Lord Jagannath. There are many pastimes like this, but let me pick up one and tell you. So there was, Gita Govind. This is a song sung by Sripad Jayadeva Goswami. Okay, he was a poet. His wife's name was also Padmavati. And that is a wonderful pastime about Jayadev Goswami and Padmavati, how Lord Krishna himself comes to help him write the esoteric poems that Jayadeva Goswami writes. So anyway, Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govindam, his composition, Gita Govindam, is very famous. And especially in Orissa, at one time it was very, very famous. Everybody was singing this. Okay. And there was one farmer's daughter. Her name is also Padma. Hmm. So this Padma is a young girl, and she is fond of this Gita Govinda, and she's got a very melodious, sweet voice. And she's singing this Gita Govinda. Okay, slowly, and she's plucking brinjal. She's a farmer's daughter. She's in the, you see, normally agriculturists, they do their work early morning and they do the work a little bit in the evening. In the bit in between, they try not to work because of the hot sun, you know. So in the evening, she is plucking brinjal, and she is singing the song, this Gita Govind. Lord Jagannath heard this. She is a few miles away, okay? But somehow Lord Jagannath heard her song. And it was so melodious, so sweet, he couldn't contain himself. He couldn't contain himself. He just left the temple. It was a little late at that time, and then for him to walk, it became even later. He came, this girl was still singing. She hadn't finished. She hadn't finished her work and she hadn't finished the song. So he came running for that, and then he was listening to her. And as she was plucking, he just, without her knowledge, he went behind her because he was worried if sees him, she may stop singing, you know. So very behind her, very silently, he was walking, and she was singing. So she finished plucking her basket became full with the brinjals. She also finished the Gita Govinda, and she went to her house. Okay. But Jagannath, he is not so much used to walking in the garden like that. His uttariya, his top cloth, it fell down in that garden. And when he was going behind her between the trees, this brinjal plants, brinjal plants have thorns. And his dress got caught here and there, caught here and there. Even when we go into the row, when there are few rose plants, when you're trying to pluck your roses in your own garden, you'll see that your sari gets caught, your dress gets caught, and all that. So like that, it was getting caught, and it was torn here and there, you know. And then he realized it's late for his arati. He comes running, and he comes running so much so that while he entered, his ornaments also fell here and there, and he went and sat in the altar. Then comes the night pujari. He is seeing that this ornament is not there. His top cloth is not. No, sorry. He comes and sits there, and then the night pujari also just does the night thing, and he goes off. And it's the morning pujari who notices that, because sometimes night pujaris, there are certain things like, the head flower, if it falls down during the some seva and things like that, it will fall down. So many things happen, during after they dress him up nicely. Sometimes the garland falls down, but or whatever falls down, even if it is his jewelries or whatever falls down, they will pick it up and put it back for him. But the head one, the head flower, if it falls, they won't put back. If it falls from Jagannath, if it falls from Balaram, they will give it to Vimala Devi. If it falls from Subhadra, they give it to someone, I think Hanuman or somebody. Okay. And if it falls from Jagannath, they will give it to the king. Okay. So the king also is very happy to take it. It'll fall on the floor, so they don't put it back on his head. But any other part, whatever falls, they have to put back. So the somehow only the morning pujari comes and he notices the uttariya is not there. His jewels are kind of not set right and things like that, and the cloth is torn here and there. He gets very upset. He says something very inauspicious, because tearing of cloth is inauspicious. Burning and tearing is inauspicious. So they think, oh, something has happened. So they call the king. They said, what happened? What happened? No, we don't know what happened. This has happened. We don't know why it happened. Then they call everybody. What was Jagannath doing? Who did this puja? Everything they are investigating. Then Jagannath himself will tell in the dream of the king that, you see, nothing happened. This girl in this certain farmer's house was singing. I was so attracted, by this thing. Really? So, and he says, so what you have to do now is, I want that girl to come and sing for me every day, Gita Govinda. So, and she is in the neighboring village or whatever, neighboring place, a little far from Puri. So they bring her, and then they talk to the king, goes himself with his retinue. They all shocked to see Padma, and the parents are shocked to see. And then they tell her, we want Jagannath came and he sang. And then they realize that his top cloth is there. The king finds out. Then he says, see, the top cloth is here. Because they are also coming out only in the morning to see the garden. Then they also found out that the top cloth of Jagannath is there. So they take the top cloth, and then the king asked them. So they moved to Puri, and that Padma has been singing. She was renamed as Devadasi, because she was Jagannath was so fond of her singing. So every day, every night before his resting time, she sang the Gita Govindam for him. Even now, this practice goes on. Every night, Gita Govindam is being sung for Lord Jagannath, because Jagannath is so fond of Gita Govindam. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, any questions? I don't think there's any need for any questions here.
Krishna Mari, so do you want to have another class, or?
I mean, if you're okay, I don't mind. Anything. Maybe we can decide later, or give them a break.
We are thinking of having a break for a month for the Janmashtami festival.
Yes, give them a break. Even I'll be busy. So we'll have a break until after Janmashtami, and then we'll think what to do.
Okay, my dear.
Okay. Okay. My daughter has already sent a message that she wants the recording. So probably we can send the recording. Okay.
Okay, my dear. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Nice class.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Good.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Very
Hare
beautiful.
Krishna,
Sorry.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, shall we
Yeah,
end the
we'll
session?
end the, yeah, we'll end it here, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.